So who were the Vikings? No, they weren't just big bearded warriors yelling and waving axes around. They were seafarers, farmers, raiders, traders, poets, and settlers, and they definitely didn't wear horned helmets. That was Hollywood's idea, not theirs. Let's jump into the story of the Vikings in just 5 minutes. The Viking Age lasted from around 793 AD to 1066 AD. It all began with the infamous raid on Lindisfarne, a peaceful monastery in England, where the Vikings showed up uninvited and, well, let's just say the monks didn't have a great day. The Vikings came from Scandinavia, what we now call Norway, Sweden, and Denmark. Back then, it was cold, rocky, and full of fjords, beautiful, but not exactly prime farmland. So the Vikings set sail. Vikings weren't just violent raiders. Yes, they did raid, quite a lot, monasteries, towns, coastal villages. But they also traded, explored, and even settled. They traded goods like furs, amber, and walrus ivory, and got silk, silver, spices, and wine in return. They set up trade routes across Europe, into the Middle East, and as far as Asia. They even used a network of rivers through Russia to reach the Byzantine Empire. Some Vikings worked as elite guards for the Byzantine emperor. These were known as the Varangian Guard. Yes, imagine a Viking in full armor guarding a golden palace in Constantinople. Wild, right? The heart of Viking power wasn't brute force, it was their ships, longships, to be exact. These sleek, fast vessels could sail in deep oceans and also creep up rivers. They were perfect for quick raids and fast getaways. The Vikings could appear out of nowhere, raid a village, and vanish before anyone knew what happened. Their ship design was so advanced that even modern historians are impressed. No nails, no engines, just craftsmanship and sail power. Back home, most Vikings weren't raiding at all. They were farmers, fishermen, craftsmen, and traders. They lived in longhouses made of wood and turf. Men, women, children, even animals often lived under one roof. They farmed oats, barley, raised livestock, and knew how to throw a great feast. Viking women had more rights than in many parts of medieval Europe. They could own land, divorce their husbands, and run farms while the men were away. Kids were taught to swim, ride horses, and survive. Childhood was short, you were expected to contribute early. The Viking religion was full of gods, giants, and monsters. You've probably heard of Odin, the one-eyed chief god, and Thor, the hammer-wielding protector. Then there's Loki, the trickster, who was complicated. They believed in Valhalla, a hall for fallen warriors, where they'd feast and fight forever. They also believed in Ragnarok, a final battle that would destroy the world. But hey, new things grow from chaos, right? Viking myths weren't just bedtime stories, they were part of daily life, guiding how they fought, died, and even farmed. While many Vikings stayed in Scandinavia, others sailed far and wide. To the west, they reached Iceland, Greenland, and even North America. Yes, around 500 years before Columbus, a man named Leif Erikson is believed to have landed in a place they called Vinland, likely in modern-day Canada. To the east, they went through Russian rivers and into the heart of Byzantine territory. To the south, they reached Spain and North Africa. Some Vikings even founded new kingdoms, like the Normans in France, who later conquered England in 1066. They didn't just destroy, they also adapted, married, and merged with other cultures. The Vikings didn't leave behind pyramids or giant statues, but their legacy is everywhere. They gave us words like sky, egg, knife, and even Thursday, Thor's Day. Their sagas, epic stories of heroism and heartbreak, influenced literature for centuries. They introduced new ideas in governance, like early forms of democracy through their thing assemblies, where people gathered to settle disputes. And let's not forget their amazing craftsmanship, jewelry, weapons, runestones. All beautifully carved and decorated. So what ended this wild era? A few things. Christianity spread into Scandinavia and began changing the Viking worldview. European kingdoms got better at defending themselves. Internal unity formed stronger Scandinavian nations, making raiding less necessary. By 1066, when a Viking king named Harald Hardrada tried to invade England and failed, the Viking Age was officially over. But their influence didn't vanish. Forget the cartoon villains, the real Vikings were complex, resourceful, and bold. They explored the unknown, traded with distant lands, wrote epic sagas, and shaped parts of the modern world. So the next time you hear Viking, Think beyond the axe and helmet, think sailors, storytellers, settlers, and the people who dared to go where no one else would.